Watch a Democrat storm out of the room after Ted Cruz gives it to her. She did not like it, folks. Or rather, but I think you are going to like it. So we're going to get right into it, folks. It's going to be good. We love a good Democrat own. But first, do me a huge favor here. Like our video and share it around so we can keep bringing you all this great, hard-hitting content. And as always, American Patriots, I'm your host, Arian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
You're welcome to say something negative about Antifa right now. What else does BLM, the organization, support? On its website, it has called for a, quote, boycott of white capitalism. In 2017, they called on people not to spend any money with white corporations. And not only that, the BLM website says that one of their objective is dismantling the, quote, patriarchal practices and disrupting the Western prescribed nuclear family. That's what they say their objectives are. Now, the reason that matters is right now corporate America is desperate to demonstrate their virtue as we see great racial dissension. So Black Lives Matter, BLM, the group, raises money on Act Blue, the fundraising mechanism for virtually every elected Democrat in Congress. Among the donors to BLM, the organization, according to public reports, include the company Ubisoft, which has given between $50,000 and $100,000, DoorDash, which has given reportedly $500,000, Amazon, which has given an unidentified portion of $10 million, Gatorade, which has given an unidentified portion of $500,000, Nabisco, which has given an unidentified portion of $500,000.
Wow.
Deckers, which has given an unidentified portion of $500,000, Microsoft, which has given $250,000, Dropbox, which has given $500,000, and Fitbit, which the amount given is not identified. I would note Microsoft.
White capitalism. Can you believe these people? They complain about white capitalism. All right. How about this? Let's call Black Lives Matter on their bluff. How about you stop participating in white capitalism entirely? Sign an agreement where you're banned from doing it. You know, I mean, you can just go ahead and don't use the modern inventions, all right? You know, forget about cars, because that's white capitalism, right? Cars were invented by white people. Airplanes, also invented by white people. Can't use that. That's white capitalism. Telephones, don't use it. It was invented by white people. The modern power grid, also an invention of white people. Can't be using that. I mean, you know, that'd be racist. All this to say that these people are so incredibly stupid. It boggles my mind how they're ever given a public platform and why people, especially white people, are dumb enough to listen to anything they have to say. It's insane. As for all these large corporations that have been donating these crazy high amounts of cash to Black Lives Matter, why do we allow this? Seriously, why do we allow this? They are donating to people who at worst are terrorists and at best terrorist sympathizers. Why should we allow them to do this? People are going to say, oh, well, freedom. Oh, they're a private company. They can do whatever they want. No. Okay. First of all, nobody actually believes that. Everybody believes in laws and rules and regulations, unless they're literally an anarchist. So it's a dishonest argument. All right. That's A. And B, I don't care. It's about time we start wielding political power against our enemies. That's what the left does, and that's why they succeed. Meanwhile, the right is full of a bunch of people who say, oh, but we got to be principled by losing. Okay. How's that worked out? Exactly.
The largest individual shareholder is Bill Gates. It's more than ironic that Microsoft is funding an organization calling for boycotting all white corporations. Bill Gates is white. Microsoft is literally funding an organization calling for Microsoft to be defunded. Jeff Bezos, the largest owner of Amazon, who likewise is funding this radical Marxist group. Jeff Bezos is white too. And he's funding an organization that is calling for the boycotting of Amazon. This is dangerous.
What's based?
And it's worth understanding that when corporate America floods millions of dollars into explicitly Marxist terrorist organizations that glorify cop killers, that glorify violence, that the violence and terrorism that flows from that should not be surprising. Without objection, I'm going to enter into the record an article from the Washington Examiner dated July 23rd, 2020, the title of which is, Who is Black Lives Matter? And I would encourage anyone who wants to understand who this organization is to read this article. On the proposition as a value proposition, do Black Lives Matter? Absolutely yes. And our nation was founded on the proposition that all men are created equal, regardless of race or skin color. But the organization that has seized that name is very different. And if they succeeded with their stated #1 objective of defunding and abolishing every police department, many, many more black lives would be lost, because more African Americans would be murdered without the police officers that bravely risked their lives to defend those communities.
You know, it's cool to hear Ted Cruz talk tough on this now, 5 years after the fact. But where was he back when it was going on? Now, to be clear, I'm not saying he necessarily didn't speak on it. I don't know for sure. But what I can tell you is he was very weak during the times of the COVID-19 lockdowns. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was weak on this issue as well. Let's not forget that back during the COVID stuff, Ted Cruz came out, I believe it was in 2021, and said, the anti-science left, we've had enough of them with their vaccines and all this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop forcing masks on Americans who took the COVID vax. Or jab. Yeah, you heard that right. Ted Cruz was basically sponsoring legislation saying, look, if you got your shot, you were a good boy, you went and got your COVID jab, you don't have to wear the mask anymore that's been forced on you for years now. Really. All right, that's what he was doing back then. Then he sits there and goes, yeehaw, I'm an American patriot and I love freedom. Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, he's no saint either. He had a statewide mask mandate for a year. Point being, these people can tough a talk game all they want, but their actions speak far louder than their words.
Senator Hirono.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes I don't think you listen. So how many times have I had to say that we all should be denouncing violent extremists of every stripe?
Does that include
By
Antifa?
the way, I have the time. By the way, you know, the Republicans are constantly
Nope.
using, I have to say, you brought it up yourself, the deaths of these black police officers, Patrick Underwood and David Dorn, for making political points. And the fact that it was right-wing extremists who killed Officer Underwood, that seems to be lost in this argument. And now there are all these attacks about Black Lives Matter and what they're saying. I mean, how many of us even think that defunding police departments should be taken literally? I mean, I certainly don't. So
This is so incredibly dishonest. I don't know how she says it with a straight face. A lot of Democrats take it literally, actually, and did take it literally. Minneapolis, all right, where the George Floyd incident happened, you know, where he apparently was murdered by police. We all know, you know, what actually happened. They cut the police budget by $8 million. The city of Los Angeles, even more, $150 million. New York City, wait for it, $1 billion taken out of the policing budget. And guess what? Surprise, surprise, and leftist cities across the United States, crime rates, and particularly skyrocketed in the subsequent year, 2021. Shocker, I know. And here you have Ms. Hirono saying that, well, I don't know who takes defund the police literally. I mean, not me. She's such a liar. Does anybody believe this? Unbelievable.
you know, we have this pesky thing called freedom of speech.
It is pesky.
And
to you.
I'd say that the people who support Black Lives Matter, and if they're calling for various boycotts and all that, that's called freedom of speech. And that's what this hearing title is. Protecting speech. So all I can say is, look, we should all join hands and denouncing and whatever words you want to use about violent extremism of all stripes. And I think we can all agree on that. So to constantly accuse Democrats of not caring about that is really, I can only say that you aren't listening. So I hope this is the...
These people cheered on a sitting United States president getting kicked off of social media. Okay, the world's largest public square. His tongue cut. The leader of the most powerful and important country in the world. They cheered it on. And then she has the nerve to say, well, you know, that pesky free speech. We all care about that, don't we? The only thing that was true is that her saying pesky, maybe not ironically because it wasn't ironic. All right, she really does think free speech is pesky, but my God, I can't do it with these people.
The end of this hearing, Mr. Chairman, and that we don't have to listen to any more of your rhetorical speeches. Thank you very much. I'm leaving.
Oh.
Well, I appreciate the, as always, kind and uplifting words of Senator Hirono. And I would also note that throughout her remarks, she still did not say a negative word about Antifa, nor has any Democrat here. They instead engage in a political game where they depend. You're welcome to say something negative about Antifa right now.
I think that I've covered the subject quite well. You are not listening.
Okay, she declined to speak, so that is the position of the Democratic Party. I would note also that of the 7 Democratic senators who spoke, not a one of them apologized for or denounced multiple Democrats calling law enforcement officers Nazis, stormtroopers and Gestapo, to be fair. I have not heard the word Nazi, but stormtrooper was Nancy Pelosi and Gestapo was another Democratic leader.
And of course, they haven't denounced it because, let's be real, these people in the Democrat Party are very immoral, awful human beings, and they support violence against people who disagree with their disgusting politics. It really is that simple, all right? With all that being said, folks, I hope you enjoyed the show. We really appreciate you tuning in. As always, leave us a comment. Let us know what you liked, what kind of stuff you want to see next, and hit that subscribe button down below. And that way we will see you again soon. God bless.